Hello, YouTube, Twitch, all people. All people. Talking about Siege to all of them. All of the damn people. Not damn people, but like, you know. Not the people that make dams, because they're beavers or damn
Just
people.
Specifically beavers.
Yes. All the beavers. Including Astral and Kroof. Okay, do something random because I didn't get to talk about this or get to have a Lightbringers, and this is like 9:45 p.m. Pacific time, American. So you will get my. This is not a live reaction because I did a live reaction. You saw that in the YouTube video, but I thought I'd get some thoughts from two awesome peeps, Kroof, who you've seen on the Lightbringers many times, and Astral, who drops some Guild Wars 2 lore bombs that I love reading every single day. They are around on Twitter, so was like, and Astral was like, I basically asked for people to come and join me if they wanted to, and Astral was one of those people. I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I was a little nervous. I was like, I don't have that many followers. I'm fairly new to content creation, but I know way too much about this series, way too much about Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. So I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, of course. That's the only way you can get into things. Like,
right.
if you don't do the things, right, you're never going to get involved. So yeah, that's the thing. And I've got so a lot of that from my shoutcasting days. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, why are they doing it?" Guess why I did it? Because I was like, I want to do it. So I'm just going to put shit out there and see if people want to watch it or listen to it. So welcome, Astral. It's awesome to see you. I'll chuck Twitters, YouTube's, Twitches all in the chat, but they're probably in the description. Sorry, but what is your Twitter again? Do you want to sell yourself real quick? Why not?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I use the same handle across the board. It's Astralegend with only one L. Yeah, it's on my YouTube. It's on my Twitter. Even on my Twitch that I haven't used in probably 2 to 3 years. And I think last time someone shouted me out, it read as I was playing Overwatch because I played that years ago.
Okay.
On Twitch. But yeah, so if you want to follow me there, I do daily lore stuff on Twitter right now. I haven't had a whole lot of time to do YouTube because I have a 6-month-old baby. I'm working 2 jobs and I'm in school, so
whoa,
I'm a little busy, but Twitter is right up my alley for the time that I have right now. That's been helpful.
Damn, I know that. I know that school life as well. I don't know that baby life.
yeah, he's 6 months as of a couple of weeks ago, so it's very exciting. I love him, and yeah, he's just a lot of work. There's just no time for anything.
You're bringing up your own baby tail. That's not a tail.
I
That's
just eat food and try to clean my apartment. That's all I. Whoa.
Kroof, you're just learning about life and just getting out there and doing the things. It's completely fine.
And having a lot of fun while doing it.
Exactly. That's it. Exactly. Awesome. So that's going to be in descriptions. Kroof, as well, is here. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I'm back. I did a lovely little snippet stream live reaction with Rook today, and Jebro was looking for some people, of course, and it's my charitable duty to help those in need. So thank you for allowing me to come on once again. It's always fun chatting with you.
Charitable duty. Twitch.tv twitch.tv/Kroof_.
Yeah, on Twitch. Everywhere else it's just Kroof. But if you type in Kroof, I'll probably pop up.
Yeah, Kroof pops up in those places. Okay, so Siege Tales today. Initial thoughts, feelings. How did you both like what you saw in generally in the episode? I thought like I was pretty hyped, actually. Not gonna lie. This is damn well awesome.
Yeah, I was in and out of that stream, so I actually didn't catch the masteries until you were just watching it now on yours.
Oh, there you go.
But it's very exciting. I've been looking forward to this mount since it was announced, and honestly, when they put that trailer out, it really kind of blew my expectations out of the water. And yeah, it's fantastic. I'm very excited for this.
Ooh, Kroof, how did you react? How was your show with Rook? Were you both very excited today?
We were both just gushing over the turtle and the big chunky turtle. Truly a masterpiece, a mammoth of a mount, though not literally a mammoth. It was a figure of speech, But as my overall, I mean, we got the article and the trailer a week ago, so they really showed and talked a lot about what was on stream today. So I wasn't necessarily surprised, but it was, of course, awesome to see them move around in a live environment, not something that might be scripted in a trailer. And watching how the little nuances of animation is always nice to see, and to just recognize the detail work that goes on in Guild Wars 2 is just not French kiss, chef's kiss. Delicious
Kiss, that Italian. Yeah.
I was gonna say French kiss is a little bit more involved, Kroof.
It's a little more intimate.
But honestly, with how intimate ArenaNet is with their game,
it took a good 5 minutes for us to get there. It was fun.
Oh,
I don't know why my brain always switches that idiom for some reason.
You're just filth.
Your brain on time.
Yeah, just filth. Yeah, filth.
It's romance, not
Yeah, all right. Chef kiss.
Speaking of the animations, one thing, they only had it briefly in today's live stream, but there was the idle animation, which a lot of the different, or every mount has. You'll see like sky scale, breathe some fire, throw a fish in the air. The turtle crouched down and pulled its head in, and both riders leaned back, like back to back with each other, which I thought was really neat.
Interesting. Whereabouts did that happen? I don't.
So, yeah, they were going to show that you can teleport around the map with a friend in there. So Nick was typing up the command to teleport, and they showed Ruby's screen where they were just standing around for a bit. And that's when that happened.
Okay, let me see if they actually do that. Might not be here. Oh, damn, I've got to find it.
They're over in the other village area in the water when they...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh my god, that's so cool.
I love it. Yeah, the turtle just brings its head in. It's adorable. I love it.
It is so good. Yeah, I missed that as well. Damn, that is good attention to detail. That is actually awesome. I just want to say as well, the shirt is amazing. I don't know many people that can pull that off, but damn, he does. That is amazing.
Said the same thing.
What?
Rook was also just like praising the shirt, and I had not even given it a thought.
The poppies, man, like it's absolutely amazing.
It's interesting because I think everybody else on these streams has worn that same End of Dragons t-shirt, and then Nick comes on with this bright white shirt with flowers on it, and it looks great, but it's just it's almost out of place.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's amazing. Sometimes people can do it.
The streams have been serving looks recently. The eyeshadow, the wardrobe, it's all good. Theatrics, get into it.
Very true.
Always good.
Okay, right, let me go through some of these actions. So the slow-mo kind of movement looks very cool, just the walking animations. They wanted to show that to be like a proper turtle or tortoise. I guess it's different in America to England, but like we call this a tortoise, but I guess it's not a tortoise because it goes in water. But anyway.
Well, yeah, I was going to say turtles and tortoises are two different,
and they're two different things. Like, turtles are like, it's weird, but I don't know. It's Guild Wars 2, I guess. But the speed... Go on, sorry.
No, you're fine. One thing that's interesting about this is with the speedometer, I believe, based on like the fact that he was just simply walking there, I mean, you can't lightly hold W, right? So my guess here is that if you press W to move forward, you're gonna pick up speed, and when you let it go, that's where you'll idle at that speed. Does that make sense? So you hold it down for a while, you reach max speed, and then you let go of it. Yeah, which is interesting. You know, none of the other mounts have really played that way.
Do you let go of it, or does it just stop and then you have to pull back up? I don't know, because I don't think you can maintain that speed.
I think you can maintain it as long as you're not turning. Because when you turn, you get a little drift.
I didn't get the impression that it would maintain itself. I think you still have to keep moving, because if you stop, it tends to degenerate the speed.
Oh yeah, of course, because it's speedometer. You're right. Yes, so like it's just a pure speed thing. But if you're running around in an area, you need to be able to turn and manage that anyway. Because that whole mechanic is about like getting the ammo back as well. Like because if you're in the red, you get more mana back. You get more ammo back, but if you're in an area like and you want more ammo, then you're going to be spinning around and your speed's going to be like drifting up and down. So So yeah, so that makes complete sense. Obviously, I keep forgetting it's like a speedometer. I feel like it should be a little bit more graphically obvious. So that is because there's a little bar, because there's the bar for the sky scale, and then other mounts where it might get a little bit confused, I guess. But I guess they've got that.
Sky scale's the only other one that has that. But this makes me wonder if they're going to add a similar speedometer to Roller Beetle, because I'd love to see that.
That would be cool, actually. Yeah.
It'd be really nice to see if you're going top speed. It would really like help people get drifts and such down to kind of a science of knowing how much speed you lost on each drift, and I don't know, could be really neat.
Okay, so like so they're showing off the boosters right now as well. Kroof, you talk about the boosters. Pardon me a little bit today. Do you talk about like the animations and the damage and how that feels and looks? Like what were you talking about?
Oh, yeah.
It looks fun.
I had we had been jokingly mentioning how ridiculous it looks to have just jetpacks on a probably multi-ton turtle, and how much force that the jetpacks would have to actually pump out to lift such a massive creature. But the animations, they look really solid. I think they had mentioned that the jetpacks were a more late feature that they added. I think they had mentioned that, but I think it's a smart decision to at least give it some verticality. Of course, this isn't going to reach the verticality that like a Springer or even a Sky Scale could, but it's something that's nice to see. The cannons, they look really good in terms of the movement. They will actually rotate with your camera for the gunner to like give you a clear indication of where you're facing, and everything just has like a nice little physicality with gravity. So if the turtle plops down, sometimes the Jade cannons will kind of jiggle a little bit. It feels very polished.
Yeah, it does look very cool. What did you think, Astral? Like, what did you think about just basically what I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, no,
the jumping around, the guns, the cannons, the
cannons, they are so nice. I love it. I do wonder where exactly that beam is coming from when the cannons are fired, especially underwater. With how tall this map is, are players up on the canopy going to see it dropping in? Because that would be interesting to see some Jade rain from the canopy. Because it's just dropping in from above the camera, so I don't know where that's coming from.
I think that's one thing that is a tiny bit off for me. Because you don't really see the beam fly out, do you? I mean, I guess the speed of the projectile is so fast that when it comes out the cannon that you could argue that you can't see it. Like with your naked eye, and then it comes back down, and because I guess in a way it just doesn't make sense, but obviously not a lot does when you think about it. If you think about like mortar kit for engineer, like you can run away and just throw, like, you're firing a mortar behind you and you're not even directioning it behind you. Or any abilities, I guess.
It's an interesting decision to not have it be a projectile, but instead just like an area of effect, like instant activation thing. I was under the impression that it would have been more of a projectile-based skill. This makes it much faster. There's no possibility of it like reflecting off of anything, and I don't think it'll come down. I don't think it will be rendered in the entire map. I think it'll work similar to how the Mechanist projectile fall worked when mechs were underwater. So it'll probably just have some area where it just kind of spawns in, but that would take probably a lot of engine power and graphical power to be rendering all of the Siege Turtle like cannon shots all the way up. I just picture
a squad of 50, making it rain all at once.
That might be a lot. It's the it looks very similar to when the mech is not with the engineer and it's just firing randomly every so often. It's quite similar to that projectile, I guess. I think that comes down more of an angle though. The turtle one. Jesus, got to stop saying it.
It's hard to say because I mean, it's all Jade, right? So it's all going to look at least somewhat similar. When it comes to all of these different tech cannons, I don't know how much variance they can really get, even in color.
That's the thing. That's the thing I was thinking about. I was just like, it's just Jade. Everything is about Jade. Like everything, the tech, like Jade, There's even jade within all of, like, you know, most of the elite specs because of the technology. That it's in the new mount. It's obviously in the maps. It's the Jade Sea. It's just like, it's going to be in the story. It's going to be everything. It's the center of everything. It's like this one resource. Yeah, it is a lot of green, right? Is there too much green?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too much green?
Actually, now that you actually bring it up, I didn't give this much thought, but I think either there will people be at the very end of the expansion, there will be people that have a newfound love for green, or people who absolutely never want to see the color.
Well, we've had Heart of Thorns as well, which was a very green-oriented expansion.
At least with Heart of Thorns, you had like Verdant Brink, which was like more brown earth tones, rustic nature.
Yeah, there was some stuff.
Ford Basin was green. Tangled Depths was underground. Dragon's Den was like mucky, vile biology. I actually think like utilizing the amber would give it a nice like color difference.
Ooh.
Like an amber siege turtle, maybe that could be a cool skin in the future, or at the
That'd
very
be
end you get like an amber siege turtle to have like red projectiles and red coloring.
It's so much purple, I'm ready for green. That's about that. That's the thing, that Heart of Thorns was like, the logo was green, and the Jade Sea dragon, like, you know, End of Dragons is very much blue, like this kind of blue, like the water, like this isn't a sea specifically, is it? I guess it's a lake or whatever, but like,
yeah, this is a
connected?
basin that runs off from Mount Kinkai.
Oh yeah, you know, I was gonna say, you bloody well know exactly where this is, didn't you? Jesus.
When it came to the Akabald stream, it was very easy to track their movements because while they didn't give us a mini map, they did give us POIs, waypoints, names of stuff. It's all over the place. When I tried to map out Jade Sea, that was a whole other story. They gave us nothing.
Does this connect to the sea at all, or is it?
I don't believe so. This little basin, I want to say, is just like runoff of a river from the mountain nearby.
Damn.
So I don't think this will connect to the sea at all.
Awesome. But what about this? Like underwater, I love this. I was talking about it on my reactions. I was like, this is almost like experiencing the game in a completely different way, and you can just run around maps, like seeing what it would be like to walk around the bottom as if it wasn't water, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I did try and ask on stream, they didn't answer it, but I asked if you're always going to have enough energy to get back to the surface, because some of these areas are really deep, but I'm guessing it's going to be like sky scale, where you kind of have to land and regenerate.
Yeah.
Though it makes me wonder if the regeneration is going to be quick when you land again, like sky scale is, or if you're just going to have to sit there. Like if you drop super deep, I mean, if you want to stay on your mount, you could always dismount and swim up, but where's the fun in that?
I don't know, like right now, and Kroof, you may have talked about this with Rick, is this the way they're not using any energy? Like the only thing that's going up is the speedometer right now, and there's no energy being used.
So there is. We're looking at Ruby's screen. She's a passenger, not the driver.
Oh my god, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. But so you get, that's interesting. So you get the speed of, I guess the energy is used for one of those abilities then. So what is the energy bar for the driver?
It's the yellow endurance bar.
No, but what does it use? But what does it use? Like what skill?
I don't think it does use anything.
Well, the yellow endurance bar is the jets. It's the jet power.
No, but for like for the person who's
for the passenger, I don't think it's anything.
So it would be nice if you could see it both ways, just to have a little bit more like coherency. But on it, it's like you don't really have to worry about it as a passenger.
Yeah, I guess that's why I was confused, because I was like, this would probably have been more handy to see from the driver's side. But but they're trying to shoot stuff with the cannons underwater, so that makes sense. Here we go. Okay, so now we can see the energy, and it's just one bar, right? Oh, it must it must be something on the passenger side, because it was split into 2 bars, whereas this is just 1. Or maybe it's just nothing.
I think it just
could be related.
Normal dodge rolls, and they haven't like hit it or anything.
They haven't just done. Oh, okay, maybe that's true.
It could be that. It could even be related to that other mastery skill that we didn't see, the barrier shell, whatever it was, that the passenger gets to use.
Yeah, true.
They could relate it to that, although I think they gave us the tooltip for that one at one point, and it didn't look like it had anything.
We did see the ability shown off later, so we'll be able to see whether or not that's a thing. It may be, but I think maybe. like you're saying, Kroof, maybe they just haven't taken out, or maybe it just doesn't matter. So whatever. I would like to actually have the option to be able to float on the water with just the shell, just for like a little tiny bit of time.
Oh, that'd be neat.
There's a little kind of boat, but why would they do that? Because they've got skiffs. You know, I guess
skiffs,
like,
yeah.
it doesn't make any sense, but it would just look cool.
Yeah, with what they're doing right now, it looked like he was using a lot of the jet power and then landing to regenerate it, but it didn't look particularly fast when it came to regeneration.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like a lot of people are gonna, especially early on, are just gonna want to be on their turtles all the time, and I don't want to have to sit there and wait for energy to regen.
That's
You know,
why
like if you're
gotta get
climbing
your
with
other energy mastery.
Exactly, yeah. Just use
Yeah,
Bond
that's
of
true.
Vigor. Yeah.
Interesting. It does
The
look.
underwater, underwater looks cool. I think it'll definitely create a different experience. But I don't know if like a lot of underwater environments have been made with mounts in mind. So it actually might be really difficult to walk underwater,
find
because
out.
even in the stream they were getting caught on like little rocks and pebbles, and like it was a little. It's not as smooth. It's not like you're like walking on like a sandbar on a beach or anything like that.
No, it's definitely not like that. Definitely not. It's going to be interesting. I think as well the flora, like this kind of thing, and even in this expansion, like you saw them having some kind of, you know, it wasn't easy, but it's just like it's like scaling a mountain or something. Really, if you think about it, with like a slow. I guess I don't know, but like it feels
It's
like
like climbing a mountain on a horse in Skyrim.
Yeah, well, especially if you're like me, and you're don't use random mods, I guess. I never got to do that. I wish I had. This I don't know. Generally, I think I'm chuffed with this. I'm interested to see how quickly and easily you're going to be able to get this mount as well, or if it's just going to be an instant you get into the map. I guess it's one of the events, right, where you travel and you get this.
They talked about how it's going to be like Roller Beetle, so I'm guessing it's probably going to be 2 or 3 collections that you have to go through.
Okay.
Probably after you've beaten the story. The way they talked about the Jade Sea in their previous like map tour was that it takes place much later in either the story. I don't know if that means it's after the main storyline is completed, or if it's. But that's where you get the turtle, from what I can tell. You get it from a hatchery.
It was from the hatchery in Echowold Wilds.
In Jade Sea.
Was
Jade
there
Sea,
a hatchery in yeah, it was. I thought there was only one in Jade.
Yeah. I'm getting confused between live streams.
Takes place later, from what they said during that live stream. So I don't know if that means you're gonna have to wait till the end to get your turtle.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that. Like this could be a really good end game reward.
I'm just wondering what comes up for me is that, you know, in this expansion where the mount is part of the expansion though, how does it feel to hear maybe then that you're not going to be able to use it until much later in the game?
I think I'm fine with this because they've also confirmed that you'll be able to get the Raptor and the Springer throughout the expansion as you play through the story, like permanently. So if people have never played before and they're just coming in with End of Dragons, they'll still get access to mounts, but everyone will have to, like, almost towards the end of the story, end of the expansion, then start to work on the hulking siege turtle.
Well, I think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think they said that when it comes to players who only have End of Dragons, do not have Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire, they will only get like the basics of they'll get like Gliding 1, and then they'll get Raptor 1 and Springer 1. But I don't think they'll get any masteries beyond that, because they won't have access to any Path of Fire points or Heart of Thorns points to upgrade those things anyway.
And they can hire the mounts, can't they? Or did they were they just like, we're going to give you them, but you can't only get
I
these
think
things?
They just give you it like right off the bat because the maps are designed around mounts, and so if you don't have those and gliding, but if you don't have those, it would be a real hindrance.
Developers had said that it's not going to be right off the bat because you'll have to utilize the rental mechanic. They had mentioned they didn't say where, but they said later while you're playing the story, you have opportunities to be able to use the first masteries of like just to be able to use the Raptor and the Springer.
Okay. Well, that's neat. That'll be good. That is kind of interesting though, because it sounds like we're not going to get access to specifically, I would say Springer 3, which makes you jump a lot higher. So are we not going to have large cliffs and such?
I think we
You know
will.
what I
There'll just
mean?
probably be multiple plateaux. So
Yeah, there'll be more
someone who,
access. Mm.
yeah, someone who
Okay.
doesn't have Skimmer or Springer 3 would have to spend more time going from each platform. Someone who has a higher jump can probably skip more of it.
I think the mounts
Likely, yeah.
like were focused on a lot of. They were thinking a lot about Heartthorns as well, probably when they made them. I think there was a lot of thought between Heartthorns as well, like, you know, as well as Path of, I was gonna say Path of Exile, but yeah, let's think about Path of Exile mounts. Path of Fire, because like how they would operate there as well, and just thinking about past content, what would be helpful and useful, and then this one is like the jack of all trades of everything, and you could probably manage with this if you wanted to, but then they were like, oh, at a pinch, we're limiting ourselves if we just give people this mount, because we want people to have the option of, it's a bit like Elder Scrolls Online, their philosophy, I feel like. So I talked to Rich Lambert, who's like the creative director for Elder Scrolls Online, and I asked him, and I was like, how do you feel about like the order of your DLCs and your expansions and stuff? And it was like, well, we want players to be able to start and play wherever they want to start and play. Like, I know in Guild Wars 2, like End of Dragons is, I mean, this is all a linear storyline, right? But in a way, you could probably, I'm wondering how they're going to structure this story. Like Path of Fire was less linear, I would say. It was almost its own complete story, even though it did have obviously massive elements from the past. But you could play it. Could you play Path of Fire without knowing other stuff previously? And you would have got it? Maybe. I guess like it would have been a bit confusing as to like basic lore is necessary,
Well,
but I don't know.
I think it'd probably be fine with Path of Fire specifically because, I mean, it centers mostly around Balthazar.
Yeah.
And while they don't show his reveal, which happened in season 3, they do go over kind of who he is, given that they show the other gods, and then they even show like Ritlock in the mist when he bumps into him briefly. So you get context of who you're fighting and who you're up against.
That's true. I guess in this one though, I mean, I guess even if you just played Guild Wars to a degree, I feel like in a way this is almost like bringing you back into, if you're a Guild Wars player and you didn't play Guild Wars 2, this could be like your entry into Guild Wars 2, weirdly enough.
It could be really interesting. I don't know of many Guild Wars 1 players who are excited about End of Dragons. I've been playing Guild Wars 1 a lot recently because I never got to go through and get all the Hollow Monument stuff, so I've been going through that. But I bumped into some players actually in Cantha on the Jade Sea. We were doing a mission. I was like, are you guys excited to see Cantha in Guild Wars 2? And all of them were like, we don't like Guild Wars 2. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Guess I'm the only one. A lot of them just, it's just such a different game. I mean, they're almost in no way similar besides lore.
Yeah.
So I don't know that we'll see a whole lot of Guild Wars 1 guys come to play Guild Wars 2 who haven't already given it a shot.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, there's some masteries coming up, but I think I might chuck this. Is there anything else that you both enjoyed about it? Like masteries wise, looked quite cool. Kroof, did you enjoy the masteries? So?
Yeah, I mean, they're masteries.
Oh, okay. There's some thoughts there. I thought you might have some thoughts on this.
I do actually. It's
okay.
Yeah, I always.
It's okay.
I think there were masteries I was kind of expecting, but I think they might have missed a really interesting opportunity to have more masteries focused and centered around the person manning the cannons. There aren't any masteries for you using the cannons other than like the shell thing. I was like, but you could do more things with like adding different projectiles. You can like load your cannon with a particular ammunition. You can gain expertise. You have a mastery over the cannons themselves, not just giving you another hunkered down ability. So I think that was maybe a missed opportunity, but we could always see it expanded upon in like, the next season or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, much, much later we got the underwater skimmer. We got a Path of Fire update. way down the line. I think we were in Icebrood Saga at that point, which I guess technically is part of Path of Fire, but it's pretty distinct, I think. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Actually, I hadn't really thought too much about it. I really like the final mastery of giving all your other mounts health boost. That's really neat, I think. And it falls in line with what we've seen with the other mounts. But they definitely could have done more with the gunner, especially since, you know, the driver doesn't even have access to the guns. Like it would be neat to see more, you know, gameplay for the passenger. Give it a little bit more incentive, I guess.
Because it is really focused on that 2-player thing. Because if you're not using that in a 2-player way, then it kind of feels pointless, other than I'm just running around on the turtle, smashing shit around, like just jumping on stuff, which could be, which is fun, I guess. And you got the stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, I think what happens if you don't have friends? Like this is like the friend.
You're just an absolute loner. Just, nobody likes you. No.
I mean, we're playing an MMORPG.
Is there going to be a queue system for the turtle?
There could be LFG groups. There could be LFG groups formed just for turtles. It is calling people out a little bit. Yes, chat, it is indeed. So like, just every single time you see someone on their own on a turtle, it's just gonna be like, no, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. That's gonna be me.
It definitely feels like you just can't utilize all of it without a passenger.
Yeah, like, what does it mean?
And I wonder if they do mention that you have to be in a party in order to get on someone else's turtle. But I wonder if you're going to be able to do it with squads, because that can make a big difference if they put it into World versus World too. Because if you have to all be in parties to jump into the, you know what I mean? Like that would be a pain. Like maybe subgroup.
They did say squads do work. So it's
they did. Oh, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, I missed that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Awesome.
So that's a good conversation to have as well. Like, what do you think about them saying? I get why they're not going to put it into World v World straight away, but at the same time, I'm like, I should be in World v World. Like, I always don't really care what the World v World community think. At this point, I'm just like, who
They're
cares?
a little bitter.
I mean, yeah, like I feel like, I just feel like I was talking about even my headphones broken. That's how my headset feels about it. But like I was thinking, for example, like could there be a new map just with this involved? Could there be? What do we think about that? Like whole thing? Like, is it?
Yeah, I'd love to see it beta tested in Edge of the Mist. I think Edge of the Mist needs a little bit more attention, and I think they can really toy with new World versus World things in there, like it was intended for originally. But we never, we rarely see new things come into World versus World at all, let alone the stuff from Edge of the Mist that's been there for years.
Really,
so I think that would have been neat. Yeah.
Edge of the Mist would be a safe place to test these features, but I
it would be hilarious. Can you imagine like turtles going across the bridges and stuff?
floating between islands.
Yeah, float between islands. But that would be cool. I think that would be nice.
I actually do agree with their sentiment that they're not doing it right now.
Yeah,
and
for
I
sure.
think it is smart because they gotta, I'd say you gotta nail down alliance and restructuring first. And as we've seen, it's no easy feat. There is going to be another beta test for the world restructuring December 3rd. We did get confirmation about that, so that's nice.
Oh yay, I missed that. That's very exciting.
Nail that down first, deal with certain balancing, and then afterwards, I think it's almost a guarantee that they will at least test it out. Because honestly, like it's a no-brainer. It's an easy way to liven up the siege playstyle. It could provide very interesting methods of attacking castles and keeps. And I had another question. It's like, we saw it underwater, and I was really interested to see if you could target an enemy that's on land while in water to add like another layer of gameplay. They didn't test it out, but I can't help but think of these interesting scenarios that could occur in a World versus World setting with a siege turtle.
I think Especially with some mobs. I guess I'm thinking about New World. I'm not sure. I can't remember with Guild Wars 2 how this works. If you're versus a mob that can't get to you via a path, i.e., there's no water version for like their animation or something, like, and they're just standing, like they may kind of come over and then walk off. I don't know, but like that makes some sense. Like because I guess you'd have to target it, and if you're underwater, they say it's just a projectile that just hit. Well, it's not even a projectile, is it? It's targeted, and that's what it hits, like engineer grenades. It's not this
really interesting.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see how that would work. Good question, maybe for the devs, and if anyone's watching this, who knows?
Right. Well, we do see things like that already. I mean, some underwater skills you can cast to land if you have line of sight, which it's often obstructed because of the coast, but you can do things like Revenant Trident 5, which fires like 80 projectiles, at an enemy. You can do that straight at someone on land. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting because I feel like, especially in World versus World, if you're in Bay and you're, you don't even have to AoE target. You just target an enemy and fire. That could create some really interesting traps, and I feel like people would get a little upset about it if they were on receiving end.
Well, I think that kind of does the tell.
Yeah, the only other one thing I wanted to mention, I saw a lot of people in chat during the stream talking about 455, which is it Ruby's Mastery or Nick's Mastery? I'm not sure. One of the two has 455 points. Yeah. And everyone was like, wow, 455 Mastery. But in earlier streams, we saw them at 461. So I don't know what she's missing here, but she's missing 6 points.
I think that's purposeful so that we don't see one of the skills, which looks like it's the driver skill, one of the driving skills maybe, because they've only got two.
Well, it could be, but Nick only has like 190, and he's the driver.
Okay. Wait. Oh yeah, because no. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Of course, I can't even see. Actually, can't. Oh yeah, right. Okay, let me switch over. Is it 190 really?
Yeah.
They really made sure they didn't.
I think either they took away masteries, because it's of course through development. I mean, we saw in Heart of Thorns and in Path of Fire they took away masteries, or it's like that mysterious 5th mastery line that they've not talked about yet.
Yeah, they want to live a surprise mirror. I think they said that at the beginning that we may leave. Yeah, we're leaving some surprises in. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to end this little section and then do another section and then talk about I'm going to see if I can float over the balance changes. But this is going to be its own video. So check out Astral, check out Kroof. Their stuff's going to be in the description in YouTube, and they're going to be on another video and another bit of the stream, which is going to be now. So well done, guys. Good job. Clap.
Thank you.
Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Follow up.